prediction questions for Unit PEF Activity 4. So first we have on page 35 the graph. I tried to show that it goes up quickly and then immediately comes down. I could have probably made it more within two spots, not this wide, I guess. But basically, in a graph, it would show that the pen goes up and then straight down. So if we move on to the next questions on I'm flipping to the page myself. On page 36, I think that the pencil was involved for this part. I think that the pencil was involved in a gravity interaction. Once released, it was pulled down, then stopped. As far as interacting with another object, I don't think so unless air or gravity is considered an object. So when I think the pen was involved in interaction, I don't know if gravity is considered an object or not, but if it did interact with gravity. For this part, for the second question, I think that before it was released, it did interact with your hand, thus receiving some energy from the hand via chemical potential energy and increasing in the kinetic energy as it fell, making the energy giver the hand and the receiver the pencil. But if you want to do it after it was released from the hand, I would say that it interacts with gravity, and gravity is the energy giver and the pencil is the energy receiver. So that's on page 36. And then if we go to page 39, we have these three questions. So let's see if I can zoom in just a little bit. Do any of the ideas correspond? So they had the step ideas on page 38. I definitely agree with the first bullet point, which states that the magnet field of the Earth pulls on objects towards it. I do believe that. And then the third bullet point says the rotation of the Earth on its axis creates a pull on all objects towards the Earth. I basically believe that gravity pulls objects from a force from the center of the Earth. So I do think there's a magnet field in Earth's surface or in Earth itself that pulls objects towards it, which is what causes the gravity. But I never thought of it as axis. I just thought of it as Earth itself. So the axis could be part of the equation. So both first bullet point and third bullet point could work here, in my personal opinion. And then for number 2, it says, suppose the Earth's magnet field was the cause of gravity. What materials would you expect to be attracted to the magnet? I said, well, all materials to me are affected by gravity and are attracted to attracted to gravity in a weird way. Everything comes down because of gravity, but I think some materials are more affected than others, and I expect metals / magnetic or objects with magnetic pole to be more attracted to Earth's magnetic field or be pulled quicker via gravity. So then the last question here is, if Earth's atmosphere is what causes gravity, what would you expect to happen if some of the objects in a chamber, from the top of a chamber where there was no air? I think that if Earth's atmosphere is what causes gravity and objects are released into a chamber with no air, then the objects would just float. Sort of like being in space, how there's no gravitational pull in space. Due to the air being taken away, the objects would be pulled anywhere and things would float. So that's my thought process towards that one. That's my personal opinion. And for the last, that was page 39 for my last prediction question on page 40. If rotation causes an inward pull on objects, what should you observe when this hanging ball rotates? Would it swing inward towards the pole or remain or outward or what? So if they're saying from what I understood from this, if they're saying that the pole has the gravitational, or the pole is what causes gravity, I would say that the rotation causes an inward pull on the object. Then as this ball rotates, as the hanging ball rotates, it swings inward towards the pole. But in reality, if you do see a ball like turning in a circle in this experiment around a pole, the ball would move outwards. But I don't know if it's under the same thing, because I don't know if we're also considering that the rotation of Earth is causes gravity, and I don't know if the rotation of Earth causes gravity, but if in this experiment the rotation of Earth causes the gravity. Does that make sense? But if you see this, like, generally the ball swings outward, but if we're trying to make the pole itself is the gravity, then it would swing inward. And those are my answers slash opinions for the prediction questions for Unit PEF Activity 4.